I love that song. You just want to sing along. Our next guest, Ginie Sayles, has penned several books, and during this journey, she found there's a way to write a book in 30 days or less. Does it sound impossible? Well, Ginie's here to distinctly outline how you can do it. Welcome, Ginie. You say it's actually less than 30 days.
Yeah, it's really 21 days. It's 3 weeks or less. The name of the book is Writer's Block is a Crock, How to Write a Book in 3 weeks or less. And I have had some students who've done it in 12 days. But
You're kidding.
Oh, listen, they're not the only ones. I'm not the only ones. It goes way back. Robert Louis Stevenson wrote Treasure Island in just a few days.
You're kidding.
Barbara Cartland wrote 723 books and made the Guinness Book of World Records. All her books were in 7 days. Sylvester Stallone wrote Rocky in 3.5 weeks.
You're kidding me.
No, so it's very, very
I didn't even know he wrote Rocky, to be really honest with you.
Yeah,
I knew he was in it, obviously.
After 32 of his screenplays were turned down. I mean, I wouldn't be motivated to write the next one.
Yes.
Yeah, but he decided to use Cinderella as his template, and he did. And so Rocky is Cinderella.
It's true, actually. I'd never thought about it that way. You're right. So you say that faith plays a big role. Now, it would have to. You really have to believe that you can get through this.
Well, here's the whole reason I have writer's block as crock is because a lot of times people believe, that's faith, in writer's block.
Right.
And writer's block doesn't even exist. There is absolutely no clinical proof that writer's block exists. This is something that someone made up to cover up the fact that they weren't motivated. But faith is very important, and one of the things that I teach people is that creativity cannot leave you. Creativity is as much a part of your DNA as your eye color, your hair color, your thumbprint. Well, your thumbprint can't suddenly be blocked on its own. Your eye color cannot suddenly be blocked. Absolutely not. Well, your creativity can't either. And remember, creativity is always in the now. It is solution-oriented, and you want to just tap into that creativity.
Well, you have some really specific tips that can help people get this done. And the first one is to set a certain amount of time aside?
Yes. To write it in 3 weeks or less, you need to get in at least 3 hours and 40 minutes per day. A lot of best-selling authors don't write longer than that anyway each day. But 3 hours and 40 minutes a day. And the way you do it is in the morning, you get up an hour before anybody else in the house wakes up.
And before the phone starts ringing.
That's right. You've already learned.
Yeah.
Once you get to work, you can't handle it after that, or once everybody else wakes up. So you get in an hour's work, and then you go to lunch. When you go to work, you take your lunch with you, and don't tell your friends what you're doing. Never tell anybody that you're writing a book. And so you get in 40 minutes of writing during lunchtime.
Okay.
And then at night when you go home, get in 2 hours before you go to bed, and go to bed about no later than 11 because you're getting up an hour early in the morning.
That's right. Okay, now, you said to keep it a secret. Why is it important to keep it?
Because the secret to success is the word secret. If you don't tell anybody what you're doing, they can't interfere. And let me tell you, if you decide later on while you're in this, I don't really want to be a writer, they'll never let you live it down that you didn't finish.
But see, I found that very motivating. Because I've written some books, and I liked telling people I'm in the middle of writing because it explained maybe why I was declining a lunch date or a dinner invitation or something, and it also kept me accountable. I felt like I needed to finish.
You're really not, Kim.
I felt like I needed to finish because people knew I wanted
approval.
You know? Maybe that's the real core issue
so that
here.
motivates. Maybe that does. If that motivates you and you found it working, okay, good. But in most cases, especially on a first book, but I really say on any of them, don't tell anybody what you. They'll be 10 times more impressed when you say I wrote a book than if you say I'm writing a book.
Well, that's true. How do you feel about setting a timer for your writing?
I do. I set a timer I consider my timer my most precious, valuable friend in writing. And you can use if you have a cell phone.
Yes, they all have a timer.
They all have timers. Also, once you get ideas going, you can send an email to yourself if there's something that you can't put in at the time. Also, to stay motivated. I do that all the time,
by the way.
Don't write consecutively. In other words, you think, okay, I wrote chapters 1 and 2. Today I have to write chapter 3. No, you don't. Just write whatever you feel like writing today. Don't worry about where it'll fit in. You'll find where it fits in.
You can organize it later,
right?
Yeah.
It'll tell you.
Yeah.
It'll tell you. Your creativity will never let you down if you trust it.
Are there some exercises we can do to help us
yeah.
get going?
One of the things, and I teach both fiction and nonfiction because I write both fiction and nonfiction. On nonfiction, I tell people how to completely outline their entire book and every chapter in it in 30 minutes to an hour when they're at home alone.
Oh, wow.
And then I teach people on their nonfiction how they can completely structure an entire plot with characters in about 30 minutes to an hour when they're at home alone. So we're going to do one now.
Yeah, we're going to do one. Okay, and you have a little challenge sentence for us, right? Okay, the sentence is, Goldilocks lived in the forest with 3 bears who played in the forest each day.
Okay. Well, actually, that is a sentence that's in there, but what I tell people to do is write a summary of Goldilocks. Okay. And then just translate all of that transpose it into something else, like Goldilocks. Okay. Goldilocks, and don't put any descriptions and don't put any dialogue. You want to make your summary about 3/4 of a page.
So that sentence would sort of be part of a summary.
It would just be part of it.
Okay, there's no extra description about Goldilocks or what the forest looked like or if the bears were big or small.
No, because really the bears are, here's what you want to look at. When you get it down, she lived in a forest, her parents warned her not to go into the forest, but the lure of a beautiful butterfly one day, or butterfly, led her into the forest until she got lost. Okay, then she saw a house and went there for help, and it was the 3 bears' house, but they were gone. And she goes on in, and she eats their food, breaks a chair, and goes to sleep upstairs, and then they come home and find her, and it scares her, and she goes home.
And that's our summary.
That's our summary. Now, what you want to do is say, okay, you're going to break it into thirds.
Okay.
And the first, because there are 3 parts to every novel, the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Okay.
And so you have to know what your job is as the author. And your job in the beginning is to introduce the main character, so people know who the book is about, and to introduce the main problem. Why? Why the main problem? Because a plot is the main problem that the main character must solve by the end of the book.
And that's our job as the author.
That's right.
It sounds like we're going to have to get our hands on your book, or someone's going to have to see your seminar to get the full shebang. But thanks for this awesome exercise, and thanks for the great tips.
Well, it's been a whole lot of fun,
yes,
and I know you can do it.
Thank you, thank you. It is good fun, and I hope people will follow your tips and set the time aside and get started. If you'd like more information about Ginie Sayles' book, Writer's Block is a Crock, love the name, How to Write a Book in 3 Weeks or Less, check out GinieSayles.com.